Hi, my name is Deb Johnston, and welcome to Women Reinventing Midlife TV, where we aim to inspire women over 50 to thrive in a meaningful life that you deeply desire and deserve. And today, I'm going to be talking about prioritizing yourself, because this is really essential at any point during our lives. But I feel more especially so after we reach the age of 50. Why? Because when we reach this stage of life, we look at what we have ahead of us, and we know that we want to thrive. We know that we want to enjoy this period of life to the fullest. But in order for us to thrive, we need to make space and time for certain aspects of life that are really important to us and are really important to our own health, our wellness, and our growth. So things like exercising, self-care, meditation, things that we're interested in. It might be doing a dance class or taking an art class or going to singing lessons or learning a language, making time for family, making time for friends, maybe even looking at something that we might like to do differently for work, or maybe it's doing some kind of voluntary activity. You know, going out and doing things for ourselves, finding out what really lights us up from the inside, and doing that, making time for us to do that. The thing is, if we don't prioritize ourselves, then we find ourselves in a space where we never have time, because we're too busy doing things for other people and putting everything else in front of what we want to do. And that might be because we've got into a bit of a pattern of doing this throughout our lives. You know, we might have been a mum and got used to putting the kids first, or got used to putting the parents first, or your partner first, or work first, which I'm seeing more commonly in the decades that we're in now. Women are doing a lot of putting work first as well. And while there's nothing wrong with this, if we do this too predominantly, especially after we reach the age of 50, then it's going to get in the way of our growth. It's going to get in the way of us feeling fulfilled in this phase of life. And I really believe that thriving after 50 is very much about growth and about fulfillment. So it sounds easy to say you've got to start putting yourself first, but some of us find that really challenging. I don't anymore. I've gotten used to it. It's taken me a few years, but I've got used to doing it. But for some women, you find this really challenging. And even the thought of saying no to someone's request can have a really bad feeling around it. You know, it feels bad in your stomach, you know. It doesn't feel good to say no. And sometimes that's because we've created a negative anchor around the word no. You know, you might have heard it as a child and associated it with a bad feeling, or we have associated with a look of disappointment on someone else's face. And we don't want to disappoint other people. We want other people to like us, whatever it is, it's created an emotional anchor around the word no. So it's really helpful to get clear for yourself on what the word no actually means. You know, what does it mean for you? If you get that negative feeling around the word no, what does it actually mean for you when you say the word no? Is it that you don't like disappointing people? Is it that you think the person won't like you? Is it that you don't want the person to feel rejected? Just really hone in onto what it actually means to you that's creating that yucky feeling around the word no. And then what I like to help clients with is collapsing the anchor around the word no, which is a really powerful technique. But there's a simple version of this you can do for yourself. You can practice saying the word no over and over and over and over again. Just keep practicing the word no, practicing it over and over and over again. Get used to saying the word, because often if we're a really busy person, we have got really, really comfortable with saying the word yes, but we're not so comfortable with saying the word no. So repeating that word over and over again, the word no, is going to get you more comfortable with saying it. If you want to feel good around saying the word no, then maybe put some of your favorite music on while you're saying the word no. So you get that new association with the word no. So it stops feeling not so good and ends up feeling much, much better and much, much more comfortable. And then it's about learning how to say no with grace, learning how to say it with grace. Because when we're not used to turning down the requests of other people, we sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable with actually saying it. We understand why it's important. And sometimes we move from this side of always saying yes, yes, to moving right over the other side and saying no to everything. And saying it with force as well. So what we want to do is we want to bring it into the middle. So you've got a lot more balance with actually saying no and prioritizing yourself. So think about the kind of requests that you're going to say no to. Think about what they are. Think about the things that you're quite happy to do. And think about what you would prefer not to do. I just want to let you know that when you say yes through obligation, meaning you're just focusing on the needs of the other person, but you really want to say no, the other person can feel that energetically and it doesn't feel good to them. That might be why sometimes people will say to you, are you sure? Because they can feel that you actually don't want to do it. They can feel the obligation, and doing something for someone else through obligation is not good for you, and it's not good for the other person too. So think about the kind of things that you want to say yes to and the kind of things that you want to say no to in the future, so that you're actually prepared when someone makes a request. And then it's about learning how to say no with grace. And when we say no, we don't always have to use the words. So the first way that you could learn to say no without actually using the word is to say yes. So if someone requests something from you and you don't want to use the word no, then don't. Say yes. Yes, I would like to help you. However, I'm unable to because I've got a lot on my plate right now. You're not actually using the word no. Number two, the second way you can say no with grace is to acknowledge the person, to acknowledge their needs. We all like to feel acknowledged. It helps us feel heard. It helps us feel important. So really, really listen to what their request is, really listen to it, and then acknowledge their need. I can see how important this is to you, and I would like to help you. It's just that I have a lot on right now and I'm not able to. Again, you're saying no with grace. And number three, the third way you can do it is you can offer to guide and teach them. And this third one is one that I really, really love. And the big reason why is because it gives both of you growth. So it enables you the time to prioritize yourself for your own growth. It enables you the growth in actually learning how to turn a request down. And it also gives the opportunity for the other person to experience growth. And this is something that we often overlook when we're turning down the request of someone else. Because if the person is always reaching out and asking for help when they don't know how to do something, then they never learn how to do something new, and that slows their own growth down. So by offering to guide and teach them, especially if it's something that they have difficulty with a lot, then you're adding to your growth and you're adding to their growth as well. So put them in the driver's seat and guide them and help them do it themselves. So there's three really great ways of saying no with grace. The first one is to use the word yes. The second one is to acknowledge them while turning down their request. And the third one is to offer to guide and teach them. What I really want to say is, to finish this up, is that if we don't start to prioritize ourselves when we reach this stage of life, if we're continually putting other people and other things first, we're going to get further down the track and we're going to start to feel stuck, because that's what happens if we're not prioritizing our own growth. By prioritizing ourselves, eventually we get to the point where we feel stuck and we get really unclear about what we want for our own lives. So I encourage you, learn to prioritize yourself, learn to prioritize your own growth by getting comfortable with saying no and practicing those 3 different methods I just gave you to say no with grace, so that you continue to thrive after 50 and well beyond. I trust that you found that helpful. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And share with your friends, because we can all benefit from this kind of information, especially in this phase of life. If you want to hear more snippets like these, or benefit from the interviews with women over 50 sharing inspiring stories of reinvention, then remember to subscribe to my channel just underneath and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss out. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll look forward to connecting with you next time. Lots of love.